Hey everybody, NavyDoc5184 here, and welcome to another music reaction. And today we're reacting to Dimash performing a cover of Queen's "The Show Must Go On." So when I saw that this was something that he covered, I really knew that this had to be my next reaction to him, because I've loved the stuff he's done so far, and and this is one of my favorite Queen songs, probably top 5. I mean, knowing the story behind the song really kind of adds to it, but I mean, I wish I could describe what it was about the song that makes me love it so much. It's just one of those songs that you just have such a love for it, but you can't really explain what it is that you love about the song. You just know you do. So we just kind of leave it at that. But between that mixed with what I've seen with him so far, I mean, I know I've seen him do a couple covers already. I mean, he did a really good job with Opera 2. I was really impressed with what he did with Lionel Richie's Hello. So I'm very curious to see what it does with this one. I've heard another cover of this. Angelina Jordan had done it, and it was just more kind of like her doing it with karaoke backing in terms of the music, which I think fits perfectly fine. There are songs out there that you know, I always appreciate people who can kind of like do their own arrangements of songs and, you know, still kind of keep it. The Show Must Go On is actually kind of one of those songs where I feel like it would be weird for me to hear another arrangement type of it, because the song feels so perfect as it is that I couldn't really see any other arrangement done with it. So I don't know if it's going to be kind of the same thing Angelina did, where it's just more or less kind of like a backing track, well, I should say the backing music, or if he had a different arrangement of it. We shall see, because I have noticed that with his voice, he is definitely more of an operatic type, which I think is what impressed me with Hello, is because he seemed like he did add a little bit of, I don't want necessarily to say pop or like R&B, but there's like little smidges on there, but it was like still like his style. So I'm very curious to see what he does with this particular song. So we're gonna go ahead and just hop right into it. I will leave a link to the original video in the description below. Let's go ahead and get started. Not a bad arrangement so far. Not bad.
Empty spaces, what I will living for. About these places, a wasted nose is cold. Holding on, does anybody know what you're looking for? And not the hero, and not the mind described. They had the curtain in the path to mine. Holds the line to said they badly want to take it anymore. Show must go on. Show must go on. It's on the hardest breaking. My makeup may be black, but my spine still stays on.
Not bad so far. I have to admit, I was thrown off a little bit when he started getting on the chorus, because I know going into this, like the power that Freddie does when he did the song, I think totally, I mean, obviously I know Dimash can match that power easily, very easily. I've, you know, already seen him do it practically in everything I've seen him do. He really has that power in there. So I was actually kind of taken aback that he took a softer approach with that chorus, because Freddie instantly, I mean, just boom with it. But with what he did right there, I actually kind of like the fact that he kind of took a little softer take on it. The arrangement and the strings and everything sound great with it. You know, that was one of the first things that I don't want to say threw me off guard, but I guess I was maybe a little worried about what they were going to do if they did change the arrangement, but so far it seems to fit. And so far it sounds really good. I'll be very curious to see how the second verse slash chorus goes, because we know things really start picking up. Like, even though even though Freddie, you know, instantly hit that power, it still kind of picks up, you know, with the next verse and everything. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing with this one, but I do like the fact that he kind of kept a softer, more gentle tone with the first chorus rather than instantly going with the power. You know, I feel like it's something that he's probably going to build up to. We shall see with the next verse.
Whatever happens, I picked it up to change.
Yep, just what I thought. You hear it starting to pick up. What you're looking for? Question learning. I must be going now. Some bad journey. What's it calling now? All souls down is breaking, but inside things it taking back into be clean. Show must go on. There's the power I was expecting.
Inside my heart is breaking. My wake up every begging, but my smile still stays on.
Okay. Things just took a whole nother turn now. Just as I said, things just took a turn. I got the power I was expecting. I expected that build up. But then when I think I saw the name was Tommy, when he came out with that guitar, like, everything with the feel changed. Like, before, it was a nice, you know, you had like a gentle beauty with the song. Now, granted, with the second verse, you know, he still, you know, brought that power with the vocals. I will say this. I wasn't really too sure how I felt about the musical arrangement on that second chorus. I felt like it didn't quite, I don't want to say matched his, what I was getting from him in the vocals. I didn't feel the music was complementing him that well. Not that it was bad, but when I heard him start with those vocals, I was expecting the music, you know, behind him to kind of, you know, match that. And I didn't get that, but I think I kind of understand why. Because like I said, once Tommy came out and started on that guitar, the whole feeling of that song changed. And it was one of the things, it's almost kind of like that thing you get with when Freddie, you know, just Queen in general. I know I say Freddie, but Queen as a group, you know, when they really get that part where they're just ready to just grab your attention and there's just nothing you can do to stop it. That is the exact feeling I got when Tommy came out with that guitar solo, because you heard, like, even Dimash with his vocals, you know, it was almost like you just felt like the mood change with that. You heard the mood change with the backing music and everything, and that is the show must go on that I know and love, that we are now getting. And holy crap, it is amazing how something that seems like so small but really makes that much of a difference in terms of how the whole thing can feel. Because like I said, it's like as soon as he came out, it's like a switch just got turned on. And if he didn't have your attention before, or he was just starting to get, it's like you have no choice now. He's got you, and there's nothing that you can do to get out of his grip.
My song is painted, my series of butterflies. Freddie just yesterday, we club at every time. I can die my life. So must go on. Yeah, yeah,
You're out. Literally everything has changed with this song now. All right. Wow. Okay, y'all, that was Dimash with The Show Must Go On, and holy cow, he ended that with a bang, did he not? And honestly, there is no, I'm just gonna flat out say, there is no acceptable way to end a song like that outside of like the way he just ended it, with such, I mean, absolute power, feeling, emotion, I mean, just everything that he just threw in there. That's the only way you can end a song like that. I mean, and that was how it ended originally. So, very well done. So, I'm gonna say this, everything sounded great with it. I gotta say, I'm very impressed, you know, with the fact that he managed to kind of make that arrangement and make it work. I'm gonna say this though, if it stayed the same as with the first verse and even a little bit of the second before like Tommy's guitar solo, if it stayed the same way throughout the whole song and you didn't get like that real big power outside of his vocals, I don't think it would have worked with this song, especially if you've heard the original song before, because you know that last bit, especially if you've seen the music video for it, that was like the climax of it. Even though it kind of felt like it had the same like energy and power as like the previous two, there was just something about that last bit when there was everybody in on the chorus, you know, it just, something even then just really changed and just added to it. And if he had stayed with the way things were going in the first and even like the second verse, even though with the second verse there was more backing music and everything to it, but it still didn't feel like it had that real power behind it, you know, I don't think it would have worked. But then once Tommy came out and did that solo, like I said, it was like a switch was turned. And it was, if you had heard the song before, like if you would just close your eyes, even though obviously Freddie Mercury's voice is easily distinguishable amongst really any other vocalist, but if you had just kind of like closed your eyes and just only listened to it and not watched, and you just listened to that, you could see that being a way that Queen would have arranged that song. Because I mean, with that guitar and then everything that was involved, the backing music, the vocals, you know, throw Tommy in there, everything just went up to a whole nother level. And I'm gonna be honest, you know, at first, even though everything sounded good, I think what kind of threw me off is the fact that I'd heard the original and it was just kind of like, there was a part of me that was just kind of like, you know, I just wanted a little more from there. Yeah, everything sounded good, but I wasn't getting the same feel from it. But then, like I said, that last half after Tommy came in and did his thing, everything changed. I mean, it's like even Dimash's vocals like changed with it. And that was the feeling that I was, or I guess you could say I was expecting that for the whole song, but he did so much with that little bit in the second half that if I would have stopped like midway through before Tommy came in, I probably would have rated this, if I'm totally honest, if I, you know, just take out, you know, just how great, you know, the vocals sounded anyways, overall, I probably would have put it out 4 out of 10. But then after that bit, and then also remembering how Dimash does like to build, you know, he doesn't go straight off with the power, he builds and builds and builds. So once you take that into account and how it ended, like I said, if I stopped right at the midpoint, I probably would have put it about 4 out of 10. Afterwards, easily 9.5. Easily. Holy cow. And you know what? I think that's what really also makes him great. It's not just the talent, it's how he's able to start off slow and just build. And it's like, you know that something big is coming in. It's that anticipation, and then when he finally delivers, it's just like, oh, dude, this dude is something else. This dude is something else. This was a fantastic cover. And I will say this to any Queen fans that may not have watched this before, or, you know, if you haven't watched the rest of it, hopefully, you know, if this really showed you really just what this built up to, you can even say this to anybody, any Queen fan, you know, who are just like, you know, there's no way that anyone can do justice to this song. Dude, I don't know what to tell you to convince you to give this a chance, because he delivers in a big way. And I tell you what, if Freddie Mercury was around, I'm telling you, this would probably get his stamp of approval. You know, I mean, I know he was famous for saying, you know, he doesn't care what anyone does with his music as long as it stays interesting. Well, not only was this interesting, it was fantastic. It was very well done. The arrangement worked perfectly with what he likes to do in terms of the building, and the way he delivered at the end, you don't feel cheated even with the first half. And it was just so well done. You know, I don't know if Brian May, Dickey, or Roger, you know, have ever gotten wind of this. And I know a lot of people have mentioned, like, I know, like, Vidas with Opera 2, apparently Lionel Richie with Hello. Unfortunately, you know, both of them, you know, don't want him doing those songs anymore, which is really a darn shame, because he really did good with them. But I could see, oh man, I wish that they, you know, at least one of them could have been there for this, because I tell you what, if ever anyone paid an ultimate, you know, proper tribute to Freddie Mercury, this would be it. This would be it. This was, like I said, just yeah, at this point I'm a broken record. At this point I'm a broken record. There's nothing more I can say that I haven't said already. This was fantastic. I loved how he built up that anticipation, and not only did he deliver, he knocked it out the freaking park. Well done. I definitely need to make sure he is in a more regular rotation, because everything he has done has been impressive, and I just can't wait to hear more of them. So definitely keep leaving suggestions. I know you guys have already left a bunch of suggestions, but the more the merrier. If I have them in my watch list already, you know, obviously I'll get to them at some point, but if not, you know, I'll definitely make sure to add it. But this by far is probably my favorite for him. This is probably my favorite for him. This was fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and leave it at that. I hope you all enjoyed the reaction as much as I enjoyed reacting to this. Definitely looking forward to doing more of his stuff in the future. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll catch you all down the road.